I'm breathing underwater, I'm weightless through space. I'm soaring like an eagle all over this place. Creatures most will never see are waiting there to look at me, and all I gotta do is breathe underwater. I hope our guest star needs no introduction, as they say. Vincent Price was already an acting legend. He made his bones playing creepy, scary characters such as Prospero in The Pit and the Pendulum. That one definitely creeped me out. And then we saw him play a guy everyone thought was a vampire on F Troop. My fondest memory of him actually comes from the Red Skelton show. More on that in a moment. Right now, he's Professor Multiple, puppeteer extraordinaire, and while the Seaview is in port resupplying, he's entertaining the men.
You dare to disobey my orders? I'm the Admiral.
You dare to push me around? I'm the captain.
This vessel is my brainchild.
So we're never out of trouble. So take that, and that, and that.
Mutiny. Mutiny. I'll have you hanged from the halyards.
I'll have you battered with belaying pins.
Fed to the fishes.
Boxed by the compass.
Caulked by the catwalk.
Keel hauled.
Gentlemen, hold it. Lay off and desist.
Desist yourself.
And here's where it starts to get odd. Nobody is noticing that he has 3 hand puppets operating with his 3 hands. There's something really weird about these things, totally aside from the Give It Away episode title.
Well, thanks for coming aboard and entertaining us, Professor. It was wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Those dolls you were using are very realistic.
Oh? You mean these?
But no, those are not the ones.
Oh, yes, indeed they are, Admiral. The facial resemblance is an ingenious makeup that I just wipe off.
He sure wipes fast. Excuse me, but look at the noses. No way is simple makeup going to change this into this. Still, nobody's paying attention to things like that today. They leave the professor to pack up and get ready to go ashore.
Isn't it time, Professor? Very nearly time.
Nearly. But not quite yet.
Soon?
Yes, soon. Very soon.
I call that the Vincent Price look. That's the look and demeanor that put him on the map. He can be as scary as the script calls for. But as I said, I have a different kind of favorite memory. For those who don't know, Red Skelton was one of the top 10 comedians of the 50s and 60s. He created characters that people still talk about today, such as the hobo Freddy the Freeloader, henpecked husband George Appleby, Junior the Mean Little Kid, pictured here, and a blustering con man called San Fernando Red. He was doing San Fernando for this sketch, and Vincent Price was playing his partner. They were talking about something or other when a cop came up and started hassling them. Red's next punchline didn't land very well, and Vincent Price said, "You'll have to forgive my friend, officer. He thinks he's a comedian." Still in character, Red went like this, then looked at the camera and said, "You show me that line in the script and I'll eat it." Vincent Price literally did it all, from horror to drama to sketch comedy. But now that the puppet show's over, he's not doing comedy anymore.
Oh, sir. Excuse me. I've been thinking about this trouble we're having. Remember we were rewiring the conduits near the armory? Yeah. Maybe that's where the trouble is.
Right. Check it out as soon as we get underway.
Aye, sir.
Captain Crane. Attention, Captain Crane. This is Nelson. Please report to the circuitry room.
This obviously means he doesn't intend to disembark. And whatever was in that crate that Kowalski took ashore for him, I doubt it was his puppets.
Admiral? Did you want me for something?
No, not a thing.
Well, then why did you ask me to report to you here?
I didn't. You checked out GSEC again.
Yes, sir. The trouble isn't there.
And try K4 and keep at it.
After the Admiral leaves, Patterson confirms that nobody called anybody. He really needs to start wearing a helmet. The professor is after the blueprints of the sub in the Admiral's closet. Chief Sharkey is checking out those circuits that he told the captain about.
What left-brain swab junkie left that door open? Dolls. Chief to Captain Crane.
Go ahead, Chief.
I'm down here in the armory, sir, and supply locker 5 is loaded with dolls.
Dolls?
Yes, sir, dolls. The hand-talking kind like the professor was using.
Then the professor must have left them aboard.
Yes, sir. It sure looks that way, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Chief, just leave them there. We'll handle it.
Aye, sir.
They don't seem to be hurting anybody, but I have a problem. Nobody's asking how they got in the armory room.
What's going on?
I was about to tell him to call it in before he does anything. Never mind.
Chief, what happened?
Armory to control. There's trouble down here, Captain.
Don't bother, Commander.
Multiple. What are you doing here?
Who hit him? His full-size puppet double. Not only do these dolls move by themselves, they grow bigger like a Professor Monster Machine Bem. And Spider-Man isn't on board this trip.
It's time, eh, Professor? Time for these others to grow, too.
Yes, and to do their job.
Everybody up. Wake up. Time to wake up. Go on. Wake. Wake.
He has one to replace every member of the crew. That confirms it. We have an alien infestation. As we know from Irwin repeatedly rubbing our faces in it, everybody in the universe can do stuff like that except us.
Professor, what are you doing here?
It was a stupid mischance, Captain. You had to leave the control room, remember? And, well, I thought I could find my way out, but I got lost. And so I found my way back here, and I was just locating myself when Mr. Morton came in.
Seems like a reasonable story. Chip reports that he hasn't seen the chief.
Radio shack to Captain Crane.
Yes, Marks.
I contacted Inter-Allied Headquarters, sir, about Professor Multiple. They report he's just been murdered.
Are you sure that's what they said?
Yes, sir. Found shot in his apartment just 10 minutes ago. I have all the details.
This guy isn't the real professor. What a shock.
All right, Sparks. I'll talk to them.
What was that all about, Lee?
Yes, after all, I thought that I was Professor Multiple, but if I'm dead, well then, who am I?
That's a good question, isn't it?
Meanwhile, his full-size dolls are systematically replacing the crew. Even their glorified hand puppets can do it, and we can't. It's just not fair. Suddenly, Sparks can't reach anybody. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Level off. Level off. Chief, level off. Chief. What's the matter with all of you? Chief, pull us out of this dive.
He can't figure out why everyone is just standing there. Admiral Nelson has a hunch.
That was not a dive, Captain. This ship is caught in a current that is irresistible. You won't pull away.
How would you know what we'll do?
Because as of now, this ship is ours.
As usual, Captain Crane is a little too impressed by his own authority to realize that nobody's acting. They've been brainwashed or something, but they work for Professor Multiple now, not for him.
They hear you, but nobody will obey you.
Professor's right. Nobody will obey you.
Show off. The prof says, "You can't fight us." And now it's the captain's turn to be replaced. Grammar, Captain. You're supposed to say, "It is I."
There I am. I'm over there now. I'm not here anymore. My hair's green and I'm a tree.
See? Good grammar is important to understanding. They dodge security details and make their way to the armory. Good idea. This'll probably require some firepower. Captain Crane arms himself with another pistol. I don't get the love affair with Mr. Colt. Mr. Laser would probably be a lot more effective against these things. While Crane heads for the circuitry room to try and reroute some controls, Nelson has found the real crew sacked out in their bunks. And I do mean out. They appear to be in comas.
Kowalski, wake up. Kowalski! Chief. Chief. Snap out of it, Chief. Chief.
He might as well be slapping the bedpost. He heads to the circuitry room to help Crane.
Current's stronger.
We gotta break out of here. I'll give you a hand.
Before someone asks, they aren't shooting because Captain Crane only put the holster on to balance out his hips. And now we have a crucial bit of information. They're terrified of fire.
If you can manage to get to the armory.
And get the flamethrower.
Right. But first of all, come to my cabin. We'll make an overall plan.
Multiple punches to the face do nothing, but a bonk on the head puts him to bed. Got it.
Something out there is causing that current, and we might be able to destroy it with a laser beam.
But the beam's in the observation nose. We'd never reach it.
I might if you could fake them out of position.
How?
Get on the intercom from the missile room. Let them know you're there. Distract them. If I can get to the nose before they spot me, we might have a chance.
That means they'll be all over you like a rash, but that's your problem. They grab some walkie-talkies to keep in contact without the intercom.
Professor Multiple, this is Captain Crane. Can you hear me?
I hear you, Captain. Where are you?
In the missile room. I'm putting an end to your plans. I'm blowing up the Seaview from here.
Multiple has no reason not to believe him, especially since he realizes that Captain Crane probably knows a dozen different ways to do it. Suddenly, he wants to negotiate, which is very revealing. Now we know they want the sub, which means they won't let us reach crush depth. They have something else in mind if we can figure out what it is. The plan is working. Multiple sends everybody to the missile room. I guess nobody's been in that one for a while. It sat closed so long it got stuck. He needs to have the men crawl through those things regularly to keep them in shape. Admiral Nelson has closed the blast doors and made it to the laser.
I think not, Admiral.
The professor's decidedly right. We think not.
Nelson is trying to explain about crush depth, but it should be easy to figure out that they've planned for that.
All right. But you're human.
You're sure about that?
You see that light? In 1 minute, Seaview is going to implode.
Too bad.
You're a puppet, too.
Right? He is. And puppets don't die.
Took you long enough. Try shooting him in the head. It worked on Adam last week. Spoiler, they never will.
You see, your ship is needed.
By whom?
By the masters of the future, of course.
Anybody knows that. Everybody knows the masters of the future.
Puppets?
The machines we puppets obey.
Oh, machines.
Man-created machines on the Earth. Out in the galaxies, vaster and greater machines were built. Machines that became greater than their creators.
And the machines took over. The big boss, the master machine Mucky Muck, is the one who needs the sub.
See for yourself.
Sounds almost as though it were alive.
You might call it that. It is what brought us here.
But for what reason?
Tell him. Tell him. What have we to lose?
What indeed?
And besides, the script says so.
You are looking at the heart of the control machine. Unfortunately, its outer shell dissolved coming through space. Like a hermit crab, it needs a new shell before taking its next giant stride.
Oh, and obviously, Seaview has been chosen to fulfill this purpose.
The first time I watched this, I thought he was saying that passing through Earth's atmosphere destroyed its shell, and I was going to ask, shouldn't it have known that would happen? But it sounds like he's saying basic wear and tear traveling through space is what did it, so it came here and passed through our atmosphere, apparently without incident, without a shell. I think I have that right. Nelson goes for the laser and gets zapped for his trouble.
We've stopped.
Of course.
Oh, this is the end of the journey.
For the Seaview, yes. And presently, for you.
Why presently? Why not right now?
Because you designed and built this craft. I want your knowledge. You will live.
Till you're no longer needed. Then, of course, I take your place. I take it. I.
These puppets really are almost human. They even have fragile egos. For now, he'll have them lock the Admiral in his cabin.
Leave the key in the lock. He won't be able to open it from the other side.
Leave the key. Take the cannoli. Wait. We know he has another gun in his safe, which is now in his holster, for all the good it does. But it makes him feel safe. The Proto-Muppets are still looking for the captain. Lee, did your parents ever teach you to look both ways? Back into the vent with both of them following. You may have noticed that every hatch on the ship comes equipped with a nearby crowbar to jam it with. That was an optional feature that the Admiral decided to buy. Nelson gets on the radio and tells Crane what's going on. Remember how they were going to Admiral Nelson's cabin to formulate a plan? Yeah, need to do that again.
You heard the story?
Enough to know it's bad. What's out there anyway?
Take a look.
He turns on his monitor and shows the captain the lighted kaleidoscope.
I still say a laser beam is the only answer.
But you can't get to the observation nose again.
But there's a laser in the flying sub. If I can get her launched and hit that thing with all the power that she carries.
But if that current's strong enough to draw a Seaview, it could hold a flying sub like a magnet. You'd be trapped.
Oh. But a remote control power charge could break me loose.
Well, we're back to where we started. The remote control power switch is in the control room.
Right. That's why you have to be in there.
Now, how can I be in there?
Oi, Captain Crane isn't just incapable of thinking outside the box, he is the box. There's a double of you running around. Take its place. The only reason the Admiral isn't doing the same with his double is because he doesn't know how to shrink down to 2'2". Back to the armory to get that flamethrower. He starts taunting the fake captain over the intercom and says, "Come find me. I'll give you a hint. I'm in the armory." The phony Crane comes in, and after a struggle, he gets the same treatment.
Where's the captain?
There's nothing left of him. One of ours burned too.
At least they don't have some kind of telepathy to tell who's one of theirs and who isn't. And it's amazing how human flesh burns exactly like whatever fabric those dolls are made of. I spy a design flaw in the human. The best part of all that, the diversion worked.
find the Admiral. Search every corner, every closet.
Control room to multiple. The flying sub has left the ship.
I think we found him, boss.
What craft could survive that?
The flying sub just did. There's this new idea out there, Admiral. It's called shoot back.
Remarkable. Packs quite a punch.
He's through. He's won.
No, that's as far as he goes.
Quite right. Quite right. As far as he goes.
He stopped firing because this is part of the plan. The flying sub is frozen in place and there's no power, which is what he wanted. Begin phase 2.
Pretty, isn't it? Had enough, Admiral? You fight well, but you never had a chance. No, never a chance. You're stuck here.
For how long?
How long is eternity? Good question, isn't it? How long is eternity?
So that's the hermit crab that needs my ship. What about the crew?
Your crew will sleep, of course. Sleep. Forever. Forever. Lovely word, that. Forever.
He reminds me of somebody else who babbles incoherently about lovely words without having any idea what they mean, but I can't put my finger on it. Oh well, I don't have time to ponder it right now.
And mankind?
Mankind has nothing to offer. It will sleep too. Yes, sleep, sleep, sleep.
Safe and restful sleep, sleep, sleep.
Phony Nelson gets a commission every time he mentions that slogan.
Lee, this is Nelson. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? This is Nelson. You can speak, Captain. Let's hear what's on this fellow's mind. Go ahead, Captain. Go ahead, go ahead.
Humor the Admiral. Speak to him.
Captain to Admiral. I hear you.
You are in the control room.
I'm in the control room.
Then open box NC5.
Uh-oh. What's on your mind, huh? What's on your mind?
Box number 5.
Yes, Admiral.
Throw the master control switch.
Multiple doesn't like it, but Crane says we need to learn about the ship, and that involves finding out what he has in mind.
Lock the controls and all ahead flank.
What have you done? What have you done? You're not my puppet.
You're one of the kung fu creatures on the rampage.
What have you done?
I've thrown a nuclear charge through the hull and set it at flank speed. We'll blow your hermit crab head on.
I'm reminded of Captain Kirk setting that starship to explode inside the Doomsday weapon.
Throw that switch.
It's locked.
You can unlock it. Unlock it.
Unlock it.
Unlock it.
Unlock it.
Unlock it. Unlock it. Unlock it.
Okay, I'll unlock it myself if it bothers you that much.
Okay, Lee. The remote control power switch. Throw the switch, Lee.
Six on one, and they still can't render him unconscious. But they don't want to.
Now, will you open that box and pull that switch and reverse this craft?
All right. All right.
The only issue with their plan was the fact that the flying sub was right in the path of the Seaview. Now it's not. That should render Multiple and his puppets inert, since that thing was controlling them and giving them animation.
So I never took your place, Admiral. Never had my chance. Too bad. Really too bad. Too bad. Too bad. Too bad.
It never would have worked. You talk way too much to be a convincing Admiral Nelson. Let's wrap this up with yet another example of our fearless captain, Crane the Clueless.
What do I do with them now?
Burn them.
This episode made Captain Crane look like a stick in the mud who only knows one way to do things. That's not the dude we know. Our cast, both regular and extras, did a great job pretending to be automatons. It was another alien story, complete with Irwin Allen's insult to the human race because we don't know how to teleport. We've had a lot of those, and ordinarily I think we'd all say this is just one more. But Vincent Price. Need I say more?
All I gotta do is breathe underwater. Breathe underwater. Breathe underwater.